What are the top concerns with AI as it stands today?
I don't think we understand
Understanding, okay.
hallucinations, lack of context.
Context, citations, yeah. So for us, when AI burst onto scene a couple of years ago, and maybe in the last 12 months more so our thinking was slightly convoluted. So we said, why don't we find solutions to not the problems of AI as such, but reduce some of those problems so that we can make some usable products. Of course, AI is powerful, it has a lot of inherent strength. So how can we use that strength and build products? So what you see is a suite of products. I'll show you a few different products. So this is our core product called Tagore AI. So to address hallucinations and default citations, what we had done is we started curating for the last, even before AI, we started curating a lot of these authentic databases. So for instance, currently we have around 2 million documents, around 500,000 tables, around 20,000 odd structured clean datasets, and around 500,000 fact checks. So all of these form part of the database. So it took a lot of time for us to pre-process and make them ready. So it's a RAG solution, but what is different in this RAG solution is we've put a lot of work into pre-processing. So it's not pick up 10 different PDFs and put it there. So those 2 million documents took almost a year for pre-processing, to make it ready. So I'll show you with examples of what we did. So since this is Misinformation, let's start with Misinformation. So these are all the systems. So I say such fact check assistant. So let's start with let's say. So we had the union budget. So this runs on a database of around 500,000. All the workflows are automated in the sense the database gets updated twice every day. So it not just works as an engine that identifies misinformation, but somebody who, let's say, who is doing research. So what are the trends that went viral? What kind of claims went viral? So for instance, after the 2025-26 budget that was presented recently in February, so we had a lot of misinformation around the claims in the budget. Yeah. So all these that you see, these are citations and sources. And one good thing is, this is language agnostic in the sense that database contains fact checks from all the languages across the world. So the query need not be in the language that the fact check is in. So that if there is a relevant fact check to your query, it will pick up. For example, though the query is in English, you see one fact check that is in Telugu, one that is in, I think this is Kannada. Yeah, this is Kannada. So on and so forth. So this also has multimodal capabilities. So let's say, so there is something that recently went viral, especially the photograph of Donald Trump. Is going viral in India as well. So there is this particular piece of video that went viral in India. Of course, right. So anyway, so the crux of this is that it runs on a very specific, you are able to see? This work? Okay. So it is all automated. Now it can't identify every piece of misinformation, of course. So what it can identify is misinformation that has already been put out. And our experience as fact checkers shows us that during any major event, more than 50% gets recirculated. So it's all old claims that come back. And if there is a claim that's going viral, more often than not, in a day or two, fact checkers fact check it and gets into the database. Then, so for instance, for journalists especially, there is a lot of need for historical information. So like I said, what we built is something called as a master system that runs on all the databases we have. So for instance, I want to understand, access those documents, those press releases, etc., which announced the emergency in India back in 1975, right? So these are all historical documents available, but not readily usable. So they are available in government portals in the public domain, right from 47, but they are in very, very unusable forms. So if somebody is a journalist and doing their research on this, so this also helps you get that historical context. Yeah, there is latency because of the database. So it gives your answer more than the answer. You can see. So you can see all the sources in the right. So this is the original document. This is right, and it's coming from that government data. So that factor of trust. So why should I believe this document? We are not inventing this document. This comes from government database. Same thing with journalists do a lot of comparison of people. So let's say if you want to understand.
Can you also tell us what you are inputting?
Okay,
Can't see the screen.
so first thing I inputted was I wanted to understand, look at the orders of emergency. So the press release or the president's order which announced the proclamation of the emergency in 75. Here I am asking the tool to summarize the independence speeches of Nehru, because he was the prime minister for so many years. So what are the themes that he touched in those 17 years that he was the prime minister? So again, like I said, you need not be worried about hallucinations because all these come with citations. So you can go to the original document. This is from 1960. So the biggest problem that we started solving was this, that there should be trust in these systems, and trust can only come with citations that take you back to the original source. Then, what we also think is a lot of journalists want to follow government, what is happening in the government, but it takes a lot of time to keep pace. So today the traffic might be better in Bangalore because of the ban, but generally I come from Hyderabad, so I can probably say they're much better. So if you want to understand what are the issues with Bangalore traffic and has it been discussed at the highest levels in Parliament, so I asked that question. So please summarize all the questions about Bangalore traffic, urban infrastructure, what has been discussed. It has its own limitation. I don't claim to say that you'll get the perfect answer that you can, but over a lot of iteration. 8 more minutes or 8 minutes?
8 minutes.
8 minutes and that.
Yeah.
There are 2 more minutes. So then I'll rush by the time it completes. Okay, so instead of wasting time, I'll show you some that I already have. This. Does have some latency because it gives you almost 20, 30, 40 different sources. So. So again, there is a question that was asked on Feb 6, 2025 in the Parliament about Bangalore. So that comes a mention, so on and so forth. Anyway, I'll show you. Yeah, something that already did. So what you can also do is a lot of deep dive research. So there is unrest in Bangladesh. So what has been the impact of that unrest in India, let's say? We know that more than 70% of medical visas from issued by India to Bangladeshis. So what has been the impact of that? So you can ask that question, you get citations, and you'll also get a lot of our data. So what we have built is, of course, later you can directly go from this place to chat, but right now it closed. This is our data platform, very free data. So what we have built is something like this, where irrespective of who you are, you can use this data to